Hello, so this is a latest print overnight, this one. You can see, just get that in the light there, that the top one, the bottom one, sorry, is a new one. It's just got a deeper profile, so the pole will go a little bit further in and lock in. Let's check the stickiness on here. So let's do the clean side, as I put it. Tell you what, wow, I'm gonna struggle to, gosh, I never thought about this. I'm gonna struggle to get that off. Oh no, it's coming off. It will come off, but it needs a lot of, yeah, that side was a bit easy. You can see where this side, it's not really left any mark, but this side is slightly coated, this side. So we'll make sure it's that side down, and you can see where that's taken a little bit of the rubber off, a little bit. So I'm satisfied with that. I think that's going to hold it down. So we know the good old VHB is going to do the job there. So right now, it's either pouring with rain or it's super cold. And today, I think the temperature's like 3 degrees, and it's not getting any better. So, and then at the weekend, it's going to get a lot warmer, but 40-mile-an-hour winds. So, you know, I'm desperately trying to get the boat back to Bala, but at the moment, it's not going to happen. So we're just going to wait for a break in the weather, and, you know, and I'm sure we'll get all this done. And really, I could get a lot done now down at Bala anyway. We just need the weather to break. Here's the two cleats for the Bowsprit, and what we'll do, we'll measure this pole off when we go down to the boat. But you can see they should follow the angle of the gunnel, and then this should be straight. So these should, and now I've printed these. Sometimes you hit lucky. I printed these so they, look at that, they just click in and then they pull forward like that. Obviously I can't do the other one because the pole's too long at the moment. It's got a foot full of screws in this side. So that'll click into these 2 points like this. And then we're going to have a pole fitted. I think we'll drill this 12mm hole through a wooden pole, which will go out to the bowsprit. Just going to put this little, I call these like eye fairlies, but they're kind of lacing eyes. And one of those is going to go on the top of the Spinnaker pole. So that's the top. The Spinnaker pole kind of hangs off those clamps. I'm going to put it right close to here. And this is going to be the uphaul connection point for the Spinnaker poles. It's the kind of thing, if you don't do it, you forget. There we go. Okay, that's looking good. And you can either just dip them in, which, you know, works. There you go, like that. And then, maybe should have dipped them in before we put them through here, but you live and learn. And then those just need to go into these little pilot holes. There we go. I've had so much advice on screwing in and whatnot. You know, the absolute super duper proper way to secure your screws is to probably drill out a section that's bigger than the screw, and then you would then fill that with epoxy, and then what you would do is drill out a pilot hole in the epoxy, to which you would then screw into the epoxy. So that way you've got no exposed wood, but you'd have to make sure you haven't got any exposed epoxy as well. Also, that would be, you know, that's the best way of getting the screw back out again. Failing that, a bit of epoxy dipped or varnish dip like I've just done should be more than enough. And you can see it's squeezed out the sides here. The only issue with that is when you come to undo this, the screws can get stuck with the varnish, you know, and people do say, oh, you can't get them out, blah, blah, blah. Well, these aren't coming out anytime soon. And, you know, they're not essential. I know I can cut these out or relocate something if I really need to. So, you know, these are fine. Everything's 316 stainless steel. So, you know, it's going to last. Now, what I've decided to do, this is a stopper knot. I can't remember which one it was, but it's lovely and big. And what I'm going to do is have a stopper knot there, so this can't go through. Now this is just Mark 1 of the design, and you'll notice I'm actually using elastic. I think the boat is still small enough so you can have an elastic on the uphaul, and then what you do to get your stick horizontal, all you need to worry about is a downhaul. I'm going to try that. If we can't do it that way, then we'll have to try it, you know, with lines on up and down haul. But I'm going to try it with the elastic. It's really good, tough old stuff, this. It's been amazing on my boat cover. And what we'll do when we get the Spinnaker flying, we'll measure this, see what it needs to be. And then we'll just attach this by way, perhaps even of another knot. I'm not sure how we're going to do it at the top yet, because I like to, oh no, it'll have to clip on because we need to stow this stick, don't we? So we need to get this length right so we've got enough tension to hold the stick down, up, but we can still pull it down without having too much tension everywhere. So that's one for when we get the Spinnaker up as well. The other thing we'll need to do is get the downhaul on this. So I'm going to set my downhaul a little bit further back. Let's get this flat so you can see it a little better. Just going to set my downhaul a little bit further back there, won't matter. So there they both are, the uphaul and the downhaul. This one, I'm not quite sure whether I'll attach a line that will be on the boat, because the line's going to need to go to a little eye on the mast, run down the mast to a cleat, whereas this one will be can be permanently attached, or more permanently attached. We don't have any adjustment to do with this. So I might attach the line here, but then I've got to thread it all through, or I might leave the line on the mast and just click it on here when I need it. I don't know yet. We'll wait and see how we do it, but that's this element done. Let's go and find some of that line. Here's my 3mm polyester line. I think that's going to be too big. I certainly can't get it through with that melted end. So we're going to chop the melted end, and it does like to fray. And we're going to, oh, wrong way. We're going to try and just get that through again. There we go. So we've got that through. Okay. So once it's sort of through, it's quite a nice fit, you know. So now I've got that rope through that side and through this side. Let's make sure we pull it through. There we go. So I like that. I like that. So all we now need to do is have, oh, don't want it too tight, otherwise it's like permanently open. There we go. All we now need to do is tie a knot in this side, so a nice good stopper knot, pull it through, and on the other side, which will be here, we'll have to work out a knot to tie that off. And then we've just got this line, and then whenever we need it, oh, it's pulling through. But whenever we need to open this, if I hold that there, all you need to do is pull it and it'll go through. There we go. So I actually used an Ashley stopper knot, and I think that's the same, an Ashley stopper knot on both sides. It makes it nice and tidy. It's a little bit flappier than I'd like, but that's going to work quite nicely. All you have to do is pull and it's open and then it closes itself. So yeah, that's the Spinnaker pole done. Right, I've got these two pieces cut out. They look tiny, don't they? But they're right. They're the right size. So the first thing we've got to do is mark off 12mm where it's back from there. There we go. So it needs to be that far back. Let me just make sure I've got this the right way round as well. And then it needs to be in the middle, of course. So this is 20mm wide. This is 83 by the looks of it. Let's have a look. 82. So we need to have 31 each side, or at least one side, don't we? 31 times 2 is 62, plus 20 is 82. So if we do that, 80, 31, we only need to do this one line because then that'll line up the whole of it. So hopefully you can see these pencil marks. And my head's not bobbing in the way too much. What we'll do is we shall glue that down and clamp it. And then we'll do the screws afterwards. Let's... Oh, everything's so cold, so everything's a little bit kind of gloopier than normal. It's okay. Right, so this piece we're going to make sure we've got... Actually, we've got a bit too much glue on here, to be frank. We're going to have plenty of this stuff coming out the sides, but that's fine. That's fine. It's really easy to clean up, and it's really easy to clean up and make tidy. Okay, now the key will be keeping that clamped. Whoopsie. But straight, so we don't get any sort of, so it doesn't come off. As you clamp it, the piece of wood has a tendency to slide. Can't see the mark now. There we go. And actually, you don't need to clamp it super hard. You just need to clamp it nice and firm. There we go. This glue goes off really quickly, you know, minutes, 10 minutes. So, and then it's dry. We'll leave that overnight to dry. There we go. Then we can move on to the next stage. This is the new chock. So again, I've just done that chock. And you can see this one's was way too big. It was so big, so floppy. I don't know how I did that, but this one is now, let's bring it over. This one is now, oh, it's perfect. So the idea is the same as the side chocks we did. This one will go this way. And when you finished with the anchor, you would put them in this side, and then it would be pulled back. These will be epoxied to the deck, but I like the idea of having the upper piece here replaceable, because this, I can imagine, is going to be a fairly decent wear item. We'll have to work out how we're going to screw it in. And I think what we also need to do is make sure that this is the same size as the block, which actually I think this one was the same size as the block. Stupidly, I've resized it as I've done that, and then also curved these edges off so they're nice and curved and, you know, knee and ankle friendly. So I think we're there on that. I think we'll do a slightly better recess as we make this bigger, refine it. We'll print 2 off and we'll take them to the boat and see if we can get them fitted.